Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're decoding a pretty silent but absolutely massive shift that's been happening right under our noses. I'm talking about a hidden Google algorithm update that rolled out back in the spring of 2026. It's something practically no one in the senior living sector is talking about loudly enough, yet it is literally eroding the local search rankings of incredibly well-established care communities as we speak. So if you've noticed your web traffic kind of dipping lately, let's explore the brand new rules of local SEO together. First off, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a local family for just a second. Picture this. They pull out their smartphone, they're super stressed out, they're frantically looking for care for a loved one, and they type assisted living near me right into Google. Now, be honest, does your community actually show up in those very first top 3 map results? Take a second and really think about that. Because that highly coveted little group of 3 results, well, we call that the local pack. And the harsh reality of modern search behavior is that those top 3 spots, they capture the vast, overwhelming majority of all clicks. Honestly, families just aren't scrolling to page 2, and they rarely ever click View All. If you aren't right there at the top, you are completely missing out on the highest intent searches happening in your exact area. So, that brings us to Section 1, the local pack advantage. Like I mentioned, if you aren't sitting in those top 3 spots, you're practically invisible to those local families actively searching for care. Okay, let's dive into this. To understand where we're going, we kind of have to look at where we've been, right? Historically, for the last 10 years or so, the golden rule of local SEO was super simple: longevity and legacy reputation. Basically, if your community had, say, a 15-year market presence, strong brand recognition, and a massive pile of old glowing reviews, well, you were untouchable. You were safely locked right at the top of the search results. Any new competitor moving into your territory had literally years of ground to make up just to even compete with your historical dominance. For a long time, you could essentially set your Google profile up once and just forget about it. But that brings us to Section 2, the spring 2026 rule change. Because, spoiler alert, that old assumption just shattered into a million pieces. Yeah, the long-held belief that seniority automatically guarantees web traffic is entirely gone. This spring, Google introduced a brand new primary metric, and it's called popularity signals. This is absolutely no longer about how long you've been in business. Popularity signals evaluate exactly how actively users are engaging with your profile right this very minute. The algorithm is constantly checking things like how often are people clicking your profile, how frequently are your photos being viewed, how recently were your latest reviews posted, and did you actually reply to them? Plus, are you publishing regular updates? The absolute crucial takeaway here is that Google's algorithm now strictly rewards active engagement and recency way more than your historical reputation. Moving on to Section 3, popularity outranks seniority. Let's look at how this new reality completely flips the board for local operators. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact dynamic happening in local markets all over the place right now. Look at the left side. We have a legacy powerhouse, right? A 20-year-old community. They are deeply established in their town, but their profile was last updated way back in February. Now look at the right side. An absolute newcomer. A community that opened just 18 months ago. But look at their habits. They are posting updates weekly, and they're replying to every single review lightning fast. Because Google now weighs these popularity signals so heavily, that super active 18-month-old facility easily outranks the 20-year-old legacy community. An active profile beats an established but inactive one every single time, even if you've got a 15-year head start. Which brings us to Section 4, the cost of inactivity. Because, guys, established rankings decay incredibly fast when a profile is ignored. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the strict decay timeline. The sheer speed of this penalty is staggering, and the research on this spring 2026 update is incredibly consistent across the board. So if you have an active profile on day 1, but you let it sit completely untouched, the clock immediately starts ticking. By day 30, without new activity, search trackers start to see measurable ranking declines. You literally begin slipping down the map. And the true pain point? That hits right at day 60. By day 60 of radio silence, you have quite literally cost yourself your visibility. That top 3 local pack position? It's gone. Handed right over to a competitor who simply bothered to log in and update their photos. I really want to emphasize this with a direct quote from our source material to reinforce just how harsh this reality is. By 60 days of inactivity, many previously strong profiles have lost their local pack position. Listen, this isn't some theoretical warning, okay? This isn't a future threat we might face next year. This is happening to legacy senior care operators right now. Their phones are ringing less, their tour bookings are dropping, and it's simply because they went 2 measly months without feeding the Google algorithm the popularity signals it craves. So, let's talk solutions. Section 5, winning the new algorithm. The good news here is that fixing this is actually inexpensive and just requires building a simple new habit. Seriously, getting back on top doesn't require some massive, bloated ad budget. It simply requires you to build this exact weekly habit. Here is the blueprint to win your rank back. Ready? Number 1, post 2 updates per week to your profile. Number 2, upload one fresh, brand new photo every single Monday. And number 3, respond to every single review. Yep, the good, the bad, and the ugly within 24 hours. And that is literally it. It's just a rhythm. The data clearly shows that if you maintain this exact consistent activity pattern for about 60 to 90 days, you will produce a massive, measurable improvement in your local pack positioning. And the payoff for building that seemingly simple weekly habit? It's huge. 2027. The communities that recognize this shift today, right now, and lock in these consistent popularity signals, they are the ones who are going to hold on to those top local pack positions through the entire year of 2027. By doing this, you are essentially future-proofing your community's visibility, just by proving to Google that you are present, active, and fully engaged with your audience. So, where do you actually begin? Well, the source of our research today, silvercore.io, notes that the most crucial first step for care operators is simply assessing where you currently stand. They recommend analyzing your profile rankings, tracking exactly when your profile was last updated, and pinpointing the 3 most impactful changes your community can make immediately. It's really all about getting a baseline, you know? That way you know exactly how high you need to climb to get right back into that local pack. Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up today's explainer. The rules of local SEO have fundamentally changed. Prominence has totally been replaced by popularity, and activity beats legacy every time. So what's it going to be? Will you build the weekly habit necessary to absolutely dominate in 2027? Or will you do nothing and just accept the continued slide in your visibility? The choice, and honestly the rankings, are entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.